It's opening day for high school football practice in North Dakota. Minnesota starts next week. Kevin Feeney joins in the studio. Plus, the Fargo Little Leaguers keep on winning. Hot Mic begins now.
Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Coach Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota.
Can you give me a layup or something?
Hot Mic. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
That program is second to none.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Good Thursday morning. Welcome to their one win away edition of Hot Mic on WDAY Extra, KSFL TV in Sioux Falls, KNBN, hello, Western South Dakota, and Inforum.com. One full week into August 2025. Beautiful outside. It's supposed to get rocking and rolling later tonight. And that is a perfect way to describe rock and rolling. It is underway today. High school football practice is going in North Dakota. It officially began at 1 a.m. Central Time, midnight Mountain Time out in Beach, North Dakota. They were the first ones. We checked in yesterday. Coach Zier tweeted out some food that was in preparation. And if you missed it, that was one of our best interviews we've had in a bit. It was certainly very popular on social media yesterday, so you can check that out at WDAY Plus, Inforum.com. But they had some fun, and now everybody's practicing. So it all begins today. We'll have reports coming up on our news later tonight. We had Harvey McMahon in studio yesterday. There it is. That's what Coach Zier was in the process of making yesterday for the boys, who ate at about 2:30, 3:30 Central Time. Looks pretty good for the guys out there in Beach. He even got some more guys than he thought. I think he said about over 20. So that's good news for Coach Zier. But everybody's going, which is exciting. I remember vividly for Anchor in the News, the days that we would start our fall camp tour were really exciting. Like, all right, here we go. We're going to go. We're going to get 20-some-odd teams in the first 5-6 days, and we're just going to hit you. And that used to be the 9-man teams would actually start earlier. 9-man in Class A would start before 2A and 3A. Now everybody starts at the same time, some with different run-up than others. Some schools are going to be playing 2 weeks from tomorrow. Others will wait till 3 weeks, but that's the exciting part. Minnesota will begin on Monday, which is perfect segue to tell you that Kevin Feeney's going to be here in studio with us this morning. Really excited to have the Spuds football coach here today. It's become a tradition as well that we've had Kev come by to preview the upcoming season. And this one is highly anticipated. Obviously, with the move up to 6A, with all of the talent that the Spuds have coming back, that we've documented. You've met some of the guys here on the show that are getting or have received Division I offers and attention. This is a highly anticipated year for Moorhead football, and Kevin's going to be in studio. We'll chat about that and some Bison stuff as well with Kev coming up at 9:35. We're looking forward to that conversation. We've got preseason games tonight. Cam Miller will be making his professional debut tonight for the Las Vegas Raiders. They take on the Seattle Seahawks tonight at 9 o'clock, so got to stay up late. NFL Network, I believe, is going to have that game. So we've got preseason football on the television, which you can roll your eyes at, but I know you'll watch. I know you're better than that. You'll be watching. And especially with Cam going to get some reps tonight, there'll be plenty around the area that'll be tuned in to see how now number 5, not number 7, number 5 fares in his NFL debut. So we'll be checking in on that coming up tomorrow on the show. I want to start, as we were updating yesterday, and I know it may be old news to a lot of you, and some maybe didn't see it, maybe some don't care, but I'm here to tell you that the Little League team out of Fargo is now 1 win away from going to Williamsport for the second time in 3 years. Yesterday, they played Sioux Falls, game that was happening on as we were doing our show, in a winner's bracket game, meaning if you win this one, all you got to do is win one more, and you're going to Pennsylvania and the World Series. So you're in the driver's seat. Here's the thing, and I have to remind everybody because I was asked this about 4 or 5 times at Bison practice yesterday. Say, oh, it's double a limb? No. It is one and done, and that's purely for television. So if they lose tomorrow, it's over. It's not. They don't have 2 chances. It's not like when the Bison baseball team made it to the Summit League championship game, and all they had to do was win one. They didn't, and they lost that first one. That is not the case. Yesterday was an absolute heart stopper of a game. And for the 3rd game in a row, the Fargo team fell behind in the game. They fell behind in their opener. They fell behind in their second game against Wisconsin. They fell behind yesterday. They put a rally together in the 4th. They're up 3-2. This base hit made it a 4-2 North Dakota lead. They get a bases loaded walk. It's a close pitch there. And it's a 5-2 Fargo lead. Things got dicey. Bottom of the 5th. Sioux Falls has the bases loaded. Big strikeout there to get out of a jam and keep it a 5-2 game. That was a huge out considering what happened in the bottom of the 6th. Yeah, you think this doesn't mean anything to the parents watching this? It's 5-3. Sioux Falls has the bases loaded. This base hit from Devin Ox would score. Now it's a 5-4 game with 2 outs and 2 on. Still 2 on. Base hit denied by Charlie Mortensen, who steps on the bag, and then the Gronk spike to end it. And the Fargo boys win it. 5-4, the final score. They had to sweat it out, but they will play for the Midwest Region Championship tomorrow at noon on ESPN. They are 3-0. They've won their 3 games, all of them from coming from behind to win in what was a thrilling game yesterday. So, here's the deal. Sioux Falls will play the team from Kearney, Nebraska. That comes up later today. That game's on ESPN 2. The winner of that will play Fargo tomorrow. And that game is slated, I believe it's for noon. It's noon Central Time tomorrow for that one on ESPN. So that's what's left here. You got to win one. And we'll remember a couple years ago, they absolutely sweated that game out with a team from South Dakota to get there. I brought this stat up yesterday. They've only been sanctioning Little League Baseball in North Dakota since 2017. This is the 3rd time that the Fargo team has made it this far. There are teams that have been playing forever that have never made it this far. Certainly never made it to Williamsport, but not even make it to the region championship. The team from Fargo has done it 3 times. And you can say, well, how good's the competition level? It's pretty darn good. These states, Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, have traditionally sent teams, especially Iowa, seemed like it was always there. South Dakota has gone a handful of times. And now North Dakota has a chance to do it tomorrow. Congratulations to Hans Anderson and the boys. That was dynamite fun to watch yesterday. They were down 2-0 after the first inning. I mean, it's easy to just pack it in there, and they did not do that. That was fun to watch. So now they have a chance to go back, as we mentioned, noon tomorrow, ESPN for that one. As Eric mentioned to me, Sioux Falls did not allow a run in their first 2 games, and they give up 5 yesterday. They could very well play them again tomorrow, but the region championship comes up noon on ESPN. So shout out to those guys. And I know it's a Friday. There'll be plenty of people tuned in. There's going to be a few watch parties I've seen around the area to check out the game tomorrow, which I've said this again, and because we've gotten some emails. I know we got a couple phone calls at the station about, well, how come you're not paying as much attention to the Legion guys and to Babe Ruth and to Cal Ripken? And I'll repeat this again. None of those are on ESPN. And you might say, well, who the bleep cares about that? It's a big deal. The average person cares about this. And that's not to demean the Legion guys, because we've got the Central Plains Regional going on in our own backyard. And each of the local teams won yesterday. 400 won, and West Fargo won yesterday. which is great. And shout out to our guy Hudson Dinger, pitched a great game for the Patriots yesterday. It just doesn't have the same clout as this event does. And you can then counter-argument, I get it, well, ESPN puts way too much into it, that the regionals are on TV or the semifinals. And I would agree with you on that because that's a lot of attention for 11 or 12-year-olds, but it ain't going anywhere. ESPN paid a lot of money to do this, and the fact that North Dakota gets this kind of attention for the second time in 3 years, they're going to have a team on ESPN, that's a big deal. So congrats to them, and a lot of people will be cheering on that tomorrow. I don't know if there's many people cheering on the Twins over the last week considering what happened, but for the first time since the All-Star break, they won a series. They've only had, 4 or 5 of them since the All-Star break. They haven't won any of them. Lost a series to the Rockies. Lost a series to the Nationals. That's not great. They go into Detroit, the first-place team in the division, and what do? They won a series. All we can say is Luke Keeschall has to play the rest of the way. He better be in the line at the last 50 games of the year because he is raking. Started the game yesterday with a double to score 2 runs. All it is driven in runs. His batting average is Kyle Strecker-esque. He's hitting 400. Now the Tigers would respond. Zach McKinstry hit a home run to make it 3-2. That one from Kerry Carpenter made it 4-3 Tigers. Twins respond with this bomb from Brooks Lee, and we're tied up at 4. Same score when Ryan Jeffers comes to the plate in the top of the 5th. Comerica is huge. He hits that in the absolute perfect spot. Wallner will come around. Jeffers in with an RBI double. It's 5-4. Austin Martin is back up with the big club. This is hammered to left. It's a 7-4 Minnesota lead. They'd even get one of the new guys they acquired at the deadline, Alan Roden. Who? Alan Roden home run. Who are these guys? It's 8-4 Minnesota just raking against the Tigers. It's a 9-4 game. Then Keeschall comes up with a fabulous defensive play, and that cinches it. Twins get a nice win. All thanks to Luke Keeschall. He was huge in every game of this series. He's hitting 5th in the Twins lineup, by the way. That should tell you. Guy that hasn't played in 90 games is hitting 5th in the Twins order. 9-4, the final. Keeschall has come up here. He's played 9 games. He has 11 hits. He has 5 doubles, a home run, and 8 RBIs, 5 walks. I'm not great at math, but in 28 at-bats, official at-bats, he's been on base 17 times. Is that good? Build around this guy. I don't care if it's a flash in the pan. This is what you need. So the Twins pick up a series win over the Tigers. You'll take what you can get. I love our viewers. Email comes in. It's time to break up what's left of this Twins team on the count of when they won 2 in a row, and this is their first series win since the Pirates just before the All-Star break. Yeah. I don't know if it means break them up in terms of, hey, celebrate or break them up. We've got to move guys. It could go either way. But a win is a win. Congratulations to them. Off today and then back home tomorrow night. Kansas City. Eric, what are we going to set the under-over on for attendance tomorrow night? I don't know if they do fireworks on every Friday game, but it's not. I will go under 15,000.
I'll take the over.
For tomorrow night?
Yeah, just because it's a Friday night, there's not a lot to do.
How about Sunday then? Because I can't or Saturday because the Vikings are playing.
Well, what time's the Saturday game?
I think it's a night game tomorrow. And the Vikes play at 3.
The Vikes play at 3. Tomorrow I'll probably set the over-under at like 12,000.
I got to see what the let me see what the promotional schedule is too. That's always critical. It's not. I would be stunned, honestly. What if they get anywhere close to 20,000? It's the Royals too. Kansas City's always there. It's not like the Dodgers are coming to town or the Brewers. Like Milwaukee would get a ton of people.
Well, if the Brewers were coming, it'd be sold out.
to say that. What do we got here promotional-wise? Because that always brings people out. We got fireworks tomorrow.
I think tomorrow's Hello Kitty night.
Okay.
I was listening to Corey on the broadcast.
And then, is that what he said? Okay.
Yeah,
and then
they talked about Hello
Kitty night. Well, okay, so that might get you more than 20. Yeah. Native American Heritage Baseball Bat Night is Saturday, and then it's Kids Back to School Backpack on Sunday, which is, by the way, a noon start. It's an earlier start for the game because that's a Roku game. It's not on Twins TV.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get many people.
I don't. Maybe Sunday less than 15,000.
Probably.
We'll keep our eyes posted
Twins,
on that.
back to school backpacks are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do have one in my possession.
Did you get one?
Well, yeah, because as a season ticket holder, you could spend $120 and get some promotion sent to you. So I got the Buck Truck bobblehead, the Bryce Lewis bobblehead.
Okay.
And then the beanies and the back to school kids backpack.
Interesting. All right, so we'll see what the attendance is going to be like for the weekend. We have a packed show coming up for you here on this Thursday. Really looking forward to it. Our guest lineup is brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Kevin Feeney will join us, as I mentioned, at 9:35. Moorhead begins practice on Monday. Highly anticipated football season for the Spuds with a bunch of Division I recruits and now playing a 6A schedule. They'll play the likes of Minnetonka, Eden Prairie, Wayzata, Maple Grove, the defending state champs. They're all on Moorhead's schedule. We'll talk to Kev about that. Now it's real at 9:35. Sammy G will join us at 10 o'clock. He's been out at Bison Fall Camp all week long. Get his thoughts on what we've seen and some early maybe position battles and guys that are ahead in some position battles. We'll talk with Sam about that at 10. And at 10:35, you'll meet Bismarck Legacy standout guard Marlee Falcon will join us. Marlee, about this time last year, started getting some Division I interest. It's only exploded this summer. University of Utah's offered her. Harvard, I believe, has offered her. She's got at least 10, I believe, Division I offers. She'll join us about likely a decision coming, class of 2027 player, and what's on store for her for legacy in the WDA, which is stacked again this year. That's coming up at 10:35. That and a heck of a lot more on this Thursday. We come back. You'll hear from Bison head coach Tim Polasek 1 week into fall camp. What positions has he seen? Offensive line, defensive line, tight end. That and much more on a Thursday morning. We're back after this. Picture perfect sky out there in Detroit Lakes. Welcome back, everybody, on a Thursday morning edition of Hot Mic. Tim Polasek sound coming up here in a minute. You'll also hear from Kevin Feeney. We got a bunch of good guests on our Thursday Spectacular. Mentioned we are 1 full week now into Bison Fall Camp. Today we stand, 23 official days out from the season opener at the Citadel. We haven't had a chance to visit with the Bison coach until yesterday. And you're going to hear his full media session here, Q&A on a bunch of topics, ranging from injuries to where they stand with a couple position groups. I want you to listen here because we talked about this on the show Tuesday on there may be some freshmen coming up that are ready to go. And it's one thing if I say it, and you're like, oh, Izzo, he doesn't know what he's talking about, even though I do. It's another thing if the head coach says it. And it's eye-opening. It's really interesting on a couple position battles. So here's Tim Polasek from yesterday after practice.
Good and bad on both sides of it. I mean, what I mean by that is we're creating and cultivating some explosive plays on offense. We got to limit that on defense. And then at times you can see, I think our edge rushers are doing a good job. I think the scrimmage will be the best way to really look at that. We're not going to finish on quarterbacks, but overall, Bo Johnson has really stepped up at left tackle. He's playing at a high rate, but I think we got to get better play out of, the other side. Josh Mangan's got to be a little more consistent, so I think there's a little bit of the defense kind of crawled back up on us, and establishing the edge rush has been good. I really liked, again, the way the quarterbacks have protected the ball last 2 or 3 days has been really good. And then you guys saw today, we're in that pup drill, third down. That's what we were excited to see, and I think the defense started out faster than the offense, and I like the way the offense finished, but we got to be better in pup with the offense for sure.
You're still mixing guys in, matching them on the offensive line?
Listen, we need guys to jump out and grab a starting job, and there's a capable group. I don't know that it's a negative. Okay, but by God, we're not going to give anybody an inch around here. We're not giving anything away at North Dakota State. And so if the old guy doesn't want to grab the job by, the keister and take it, well, then we're not going to hand it to him. So then we'll bring the freshman up who's totally capable, but, he's just got to catch up with the mental aspect about it. But from a physical standpoint, Ryan Babbitt has everything that we're looking for, and he can challenge those four guys where the job's up in the air at left or right guard.
You've touched on this some in the past, Tim, but the two tackles, no matter who they are new guys. And if you look back, there's been some pretty damn good tackles the last 10 years at North Dakota State. So talk about that challenge for some of these.
No, it's hey, listen, we can't run from it. I mean, the challenge is, can you put them in enough sticky situations that they progressively get better and they're playing the situation? Like, are they playing 3rd and 9 out there like it's going to be 3rd and 9, in the top 20 third downs of the year where we operated at a high level? I think that's what makes it exciting. That's why we enjoy coaching. But at the same time, I agree with you, Mike. Like, how is this thing going to unfold? Like, this is one of the first years in a long time that we've had both tackles going to be starting their first game ever and playing significant roles in a long time. It's always been one, at least, that's had some carryover. So I'm interested. I'm fired up to see how they go. And, quite frankly, Toby Anene's got a lot of experience and he's a good player. And so I think iron sharpens iron, and we really got to pay attention to that. How much do we have to help the tackles? What kind of pass plays are we going to be able to call and to be able to provide adequate time for our talented playmakers?
How many other freshmen you're looking at that have burst through the first week to say we got to consider them?
Well, I think it's always interesting this day and age with the 4 games. It really could unfold that quite a few guys that could contribute. But, I think what comes to mind is Ryan Babbitt's right now. Most certainly Elijah Wayne, maybe in some sort of role, especially from the pass rush standpoint. He's a viable candidate for that. And then linebacker, it's a little bit unfortunate. Gavin Sell has an injury. Some of those guys were really doing well on special teams. So I guess Mikhail Ford, special team-wise, comes to mind, and then also Marion Moore. And I hope I didn't miss anybody, but those guys in particular. Miles Mitchell, there we go again with a kid that's on campus early. I just don't even think about him being a true freshman. Miles Mitchell's in a dogfight for the number 2 role. And let's just get that out there publicly right now. We got pretty much a 3-man race, and the guys that can make plays are going to play around here. And then guys that can carve out small roles of doing their job will have that as well, and that's valued. But we are looking for someone to establish as the number 2 playmaker, and I like DJ right now a lot. DJ Scott has really done some good things.
10 practices for me. You're going to really look at running back. What have you seen so far out of that spot?
It's we haven't played a game yet, so I don't want to jump out there. But I think the room has a chance to be better as an overall room than we had last year. The interesting thing is TK owned that role that he had, and he was so good at it. A+. Marty did some really nice things, but it really wasn't until week 7 or 8 that we popped a big one or something, right? I think Cortez, DJ, and Miles all provide really good vision and some breakaway speed that you're looking for, and so that's exciting, along with Owen Johnson's healthy, and he's hit some really nice miles per hour in practice that it shows you that he's back.
Coach, you guys had big leaders like Cam Miller last year. Who's starting to really step up for this program, as you guys are progressing through fall camp?
I think there's another area I'm just super excited to get to August 18th and just see the voting. How is the captain stuff going to shake out? That's where we start. But I'm really seeing really good leadership within the units, and that's what's most important. Do we have leadership in every group that's carrying that group? Logan Kopp is really the only guy that's played a ton at linebacker, and I think he's doing it, right? Okay, at safety, do we have guys stepping up and that are leading? Ryan Jones and Darius Gibbons are doing a really nice job. So I think we have good leadership across the board. I've seen really positive things there. I think we just got to kind of pick it up. When things start slipping and we start sliding, we got to be a little more consistent in practice, and that's got to come from the players.
Injury-wise, can you give us an update on Alex Elliott and Taylor Needy?
I'll try. This has been a physical outfit, and that's what I thought we needed, and we're going to continue to stay physical tomorrow. But there's a chance Alex Elliott's going to miss significant time with his shoulder. We're keeping our fingers crossed on Taylor Needy, but there could be significant time missed there, and he's an important special teams cog and backup safety as of right now. And then there's a couple others that are younger players that necessarily aren't role players that the community won't necessarily recognize, but hopefully that they can get back soon. And we've got a couple concussion things, but I think you'll see us get a little bit fresher as time goes on, and that'll be a positive.
Last thing on tight end? How are you evaluating where things are at with Carson not practicing?
Well, that's okay. Carson's got a lot of minutes and time and practice reps under his belt, which has provided a really nice opportunity for a guy like Reese Kessel. I keep talking about Reese. He has a chance maybe before week 3 or 4 as we get into this stretch of what we're, the preseason. I mean, we got to win them all. But I think Reese Kessel could be maybe one of the better overall tight ends that we have. You like Zenzen in the run game. Can he develop as a pass catcher? You like the role that Colcat can fill, especially in the flat as a fullback. And then Truman's been really consistent, really pleased there. And then Finn Diggins seems to be moving around a little bit better to me when it comes to separating and winning some matchup football and man-to-man coverage. So I think there's a pretty good competitive spirit there. I do like the group from the standpoint each guy could do a certain job or two. But do we have the total package yet? I'm not sure. I really like Gabe Cunningham and the things that he's bringing right now. And Gabe Cunningham, if he can get into the book, pass game-wise, you just never know by the time the end of the season rolls around.
Is the offensive line, could that go into those first 3 games as well? Some of the offensive line mix and match in battles, or do you want to have a unit to start with and stick with it all the way through the...
No. Nate Sneckelhoff is really improving. He really has. I think Jack Lewinsky is coming on, but I'm tired of talking about improving. My message to that group is who's going to step up and take a job and not let go of it. And that's where that all of a sudden there's some opportunity cultivated for Ryan Babbitts. Right now I'm not sure. I just haven't seen any of the 2 sophomores, the junior or the true freshman say, this is going to be my spot. But I do like how we started. I mean, our efficiencies on offense, I think we were a little bit ahead of the defense on days 1, 2, and 3. Now, I'm not sure that hasn't flipped here the last couple of days, and we got to be more productive versus movement and pressure.
All right, couple things out of that. He mentioned Ryan Babbitts again on offensive line. I think he put a challenge down to the returning offensive lineman to go and earn a spot there. He also mentioned true freshman Elijah Wayne, Omaha, Nebraska kid, who we had on the show when he flipped. How big a deal that was that he flipped from SDSU to NDSU. That was in November, I want to say, maybe in December. It was close to signing day. As 2 guys that on the lines playing as true freshmen. It's one thing if it's a corner or a running back or a wide receiver, right? That's the old adage. The further away you are from the ball, easier as you can play. These guys are right on the ball. But physically, you look at each of them. Babbitts and Wayne are huge. They are fast. And if they can help them, they're going to play. In this day and age, there's no more hanging on to guys. It just does not happen. In the era of the portal now, if you think there's a guy that can help you win, you're going to play him. And if you can hang on to him, great. And if not, they may go. I had 2 separate coaches on each of these guys say, there may also be a chance that they're at a level that they're not supposed to be at. And we've had Ryan Babbitts on the show a handful of times. I think people have gotten to know what kind of athlete he was at Buffalo High School during his time there. Speaking of Minnesota high school football, we come back. Kevin Feeney will join us. The Spuds get ready for practice on Monday with the big boys. Look at that vintage video as well. He can play. He can sling it. That's coming up when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Look at that picture-perfect sky out here on a Thursday, which is good news for our North Dakota brethren that are starting practice. It's humid out there. That's the way it should be, right, Kevin Feeney, on opening day of high school football practice?
Hey, you want the 2 best weeks of the year. It's opening week of football camp and youth football camps. Greatest week of the summer.
It's great to see you, bud. My head coach of the Moorhead Spuds joins us in studio. I was joking with a couple guys yesterday that it was the day before the day. You still got a couple, so are you lounging, relaxing? Because Monday it's go time for you.
Yeah, you know what? The hay's in the barn, the old saying. But we had our staff meeting early this week, and our kids are off this week, so we don't get to work with our players at all. But, yeah, there's always little things that you're going to dot your I's, cross your T's, all that kind of stuff that we're kind of taking care of right now.
It's been a busy summer, obviously, on the recruiting trail again, doing this for the second time, which I want to get to in a minute. But first, we're getting near the magical countdown day of number 19, which is your number. Because we got, I hate to say vintage video. It's classic video, maybe. Classic. Is that the best way to say it? Do your players know that you played and you were pretty good, man?
You know, that's a great question. No, we don't talk about it a whole lot.
Look at this guy slinging the ball. That's right on the money, man.
We've got a couple new players in the program that went to camp at North Dakota State, and they're all of a sudden, Coach, I didn't know you played there.
By the way, how terrible was that field at Morningside? Look at that. Look at that field. How terrible was that?
Yeah, that wasn't the premier place to play.
And the dome turf was what?
Ooh,
concrete, right?
It was concrete. I think I still have rug burns from most of those.
Look at that. That's a dime there, man. Right on the money.
Oh, there's some great players, though. Unfortunately, we had a teammate pass away this last year, and so we kind of all got back together.
Yeah.
Jeff McKinnon was an awesome, phenomenal guy. But, yeah, so it was great to see a lot of those guys that are on these videos.
Look at that. Look at that. Getting in there, man. You could run the ball. There's no doubt about how much. Just when you look back at these days, you mentioned with obviously the passing of Jeff, just these are the formative days, that these are guys obviously you're going to have friends forever with.
No doubt. And that's the beauty of football. It brings everybody together, and you go through a lot, right? I mean, a lot of highs, some definite lows, but the challenges are what brings you together, and that's what's so much fun.
That's a special one there, I know, up there. Beyond the games in Grand Forks, what other ones, especially on the road, did you say, I love playing blank?
Yeah, you know what? Northern Colorado.
Really?
I did. When we were
they
playing,
were good then.
They were really good.
Yeah.
They were really, really good. And they won the national championship. Then we beat them that year. I think we were their first defeat at their home field in Nottingham, I think is what it's called. South Dakota State was always fun. Those are probably the main ones.
Those games in Grand Forks, for people now of a certain age, they equate it, Kev, with the Jacks because those games, the marker games are huge, but you lived it at Memorial State. What were those like going up there?
Memorial Stadium was pretty good.
Yeah.
We dressed at Ingolstadt, the old Ingolstadt right across, and you had to go through the parking lot at tailgate, and you walked right through it, right? And it was –
I can't imagine.
I know. I think I told this story before, but Coach Babich, it was his first year. We're at Memorial Stadium, and we're warming up on the scoreboard end of the end zone, and we're right there. And they just have a yellow rope, right? Otherwise, you're basically on the
you're
field.
Right there, yeah.
And let's just say there was a lot of words being said, and Coach Babbage goes, geez, they don't like you here, Kevin. And he was like, I'm leaving you. And he leaves me with a bunch of freshman quarterbacks, basically. But it was super fun.
Oh,
it was
man.
a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And looking forward to another season here where former Spud is going to be right in the mix. Couple of them. Austin Schultz has been getting some good run on the offensive line, and obviously Austin Altpeter has got a heck of a chance to play this year.
You know what? Both those guys have put in a ton of work. Super proud of them. They're great kids, and I've been able to keep in touch with them. I'm going to try and run up there and watch some practice today, and I enjoy seeing our former players, and I could use both those two with the schedule we got coming up here this year.
That's a good segue. I'll get to that. I mentioned you're on the recruiting trail again. You did this a few years ago with Trey, and that was so weird too because COVID was part of that.
Yep.
How different has this been this summer with Jet?
It's been a lot different. I think everything's sped up, right? I mean, it's kind of what you're talking about with your summers and all that kind of stuff. We're talking about a young man going into his junior year and the different time frames. It's just an interesting world, right? I mean, with the transfer portal and everything going on with NIL and college football, it's just everybody is still trying to figure it out. And you know what? I feel like I have a pretty good pulse of what's going on. And usually I walk away and I'm like, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I have no clue, and I have no advice really.
If you don't, then certainly I don't.
Exactly,
because you're in it, man.
Yeah, you know what? But it's a neat experience for Jet and all of our players. And I got to travel around with a bunch of them, and really what it's just about is just go out there and compete. And if they like you, they like you. If they don't, you only got to find one or two that love you.
How surreal was it for him to get his first offer and to be from Vigs in Montana State?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. You know what? Jet's not a real emotional kid, and he keeps things pretty close to the vest. But he took a phone call, and all of a sudden he disappeared for a while. Which that's like from my day in the recruiting, your phone was right where everybody could see it, right? So everybody knew who you were on the phone.
Yep.
Yeah, these guys now, so much communication happens, and I find out about it way later. But Jet disappeared in the office for a little while, and then he came out and with a huge smile on his face. And I'm like, who'd you just talk to? And he's like, Coach Vegan. Huge smile on his face, and it was pretty cool.
Were you able to talk to Vigs after that, or no?
I had talked to Vigs earlier, about a week earlier.
Did you get a sense something was coming?
You know what? He was here in the last day of the spring recruiting time, and Jet worked out with a bunch of our guys, and I think Vigs, he was pretty honest with me. He said he really liked what he saw, and that there was a good chance, and he'll let some things play out. But No, I didn't know for sure he was going to offer. I mean, I had hopes, and just because of some of the communication we had. But when he got that first one and he walked out of that, it was pretty cool. And you know what? He obviously knows Brent Vegan because we talk about him in our house a lot, right? But he doesn't know Viggs because by the time, he was old enough, Viggs was already gone.
Right. Yep.
And so, he knows Viggs' boys a little bit, from afar. But, it was super cool.
So was it beyond surreal when NDSU offered your son where you played?
Yeah, that was really cool also. You know what I mean? It's just and he's grown up, obviously, right? And he knows the success. And it was funny because when both those schools were talking to him and it was looking like there was going to be a good opportunity, Trey looked at him and just goes, both those schools know how to produce quarterbacks. And,
no doubt.
And, whether it's Brent Vegan when he was here or at Wyoming and now at Montana State or, the North Dakota State tradition of quarterbacks. And from the beginning, his goals, right? His goals were go somewhere where the coaches believe in you and think you can play. And he wants a great opportunity to win and an opportunity to develop as a quarterback. Well, I was like, those are two pretty good schools, right?
The timeline of this, how different is it compared to what Trey went through?
It's almost a full year ahead, and obviously there's different schools that this is where it got really murky. I think for us as a family was depending on the school, it could be in the Big Ten. Both schools could be in the Big Ten, and one would be looking for early August, and one was like, you got time yet? It's going to happen this winter, and so you just don't know.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is you got to learn how to communicate, and Jet needs to learn that, and he's getting better as it goes.
I think he did well. If you saw our interview, he did a good job when he came on the show.
It's getting better. Yeah. It's getting better. He joked he needed to go back to the Tyken Academy where he learned how to talk to the media. But, no, it's getting better. But, you know what? I think for him, it's just going to be right now is the time to focus on our football team. And our football team, if he goes out and does, what he wants to do with our football team, the doors are going to open up.
About your oldest son, tell me about how excited he is for St. John's and what's going on there.
You talk about waiting. So they have a bye week 1, and
they
don't get to open up their camp until way late. And so he's been chomping at the bit to get
because everybody else is practicing. He's got to sit around,
right? And he's had a great off season. He's done everything. I mean, his preparation is off the charts good. If anything, he needs to relax a little bit out and just go out and play.
Let's break. We come back, actually talk about your football team. Does that sound like a plan?
That sounds great.
Because apparently there's some attention around the Spuds for 2025. We'll do that. Kevin Feeney in studio. Back to wrap up the first hour of Hot Mic right after this. All right, back on Hot Mic. I think we solved all of the Minnesota State High School League ills during that segment. Back with Kevin Feeney. The question I've had the most, that's a good look at South Dakota, by the way, our tower cam down there, from people that come up to me that are interested in football, like, how did this happen and how long are the Spuds going to play in the top division? I don't know if you can answer either one of those, but I'll pose it to you.
Yeah, you know what? Great question. As the formulas changed with 6A football as far as free and reduced lunch and all those different things. Our enrollments are obviously going up.
Yep.
With everybody getting free lunch, I think it has skewed some things, and I think they haven't quite figured out the formula, or at least they haven't put them out there publicly for anybody to understand. But you know what? I do think for the long term, I see us as a big school in Minnesota. I do think as they go through things, like they take time, right? And so there's going to be a few hiccups along the way that I think they're going to have to try to figure out. And you know what? As you well know, the Metro is not too keen on sending teams all the way up to Moorhead.
No, they're not.
And so I do think there's a chance down the road that they'll evaluate and maybe add teams and say, hey, we'll give you some other outstate teams to play.
Who would that be? And just off example here, I look at Rogers already there. Like Buffalo, like they were a 6A school.
Yeah, I think Rogers, Buffalo, Brainerd. You know what I mean? I think Bemidji. It's
Elk River.
Elk River, definitely.
Yeah. Your friends there.
Yeah, exactly. Good. I think everywhere in that entrance into
the Twin
Minneapolis.
Cities. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Monticello's even in that mix.
Yep.
You know what? And people look at that and say, well, that's not that big of a difference. Well, it actually is.
Oh, God,
because, I was telling you, we went into Anoka, and we were there Tuesday at 11:30. The the traffic on a Tuesday at 11:30 in the morning, you know what I mean? It makes a difference, right? And so a lot of unknowns for us, but like I said, it comes down to we just got to play the schedule that's up on there for us.
But there's a palpable excitement, Kev. I mean, there really is. Outside of what the talent you have in your team, which we've talked about, that you have 4 or 5 guys that have Division I offers, the excitement level of getting Maple Grove to come up here, to have Wayzata come here. You're going to play Eden Prairie. You're going to play Edina. That's to me, that I just say it, I get jacked for that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a great experience for, you know what, I hope our community comes out and show out. When we play Brainerd, Alexandria, you know, the world, we fill up the stadium.
That Alex game last year, no offense, I mean, the Band-Aid off was packed. There wasn't a seat to be had on November 3rd or whatever it was on a Friday night. It was awesome.
And I think that's the big thing. I hope these schools that come out here see what our community is, and I know the support that we get has been phenomenal. And, you know, I know our players are excited to get a chance to play in some of those venues, and they see the student sections, and obviously these are really large schools, right? So I mean, even if a third of the student body is coming to the football game, it's going to be a pretty great environment for these guys.
We can throw your schedule up here. We're going to televise, I think, 3 of the games, which we're pretty pumped about that. We always do a lot of spuds here, but you look at, I mean, I mentioned first road trip. It is the longest one, right? Is Woodbury the furthest one away?
Yeah.
Is there coincidence in that? Like, hey, we're going to go and make you go the furthest, right?
That's a great question. Randy Shaver asked me that. He goes, literally Woodbury?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right?
But, yeah, you know what? Who knows? But great opportunity for our kids. And I was trying to say to some people, you know what? Everybody's like, oh, you guys got to travel. Well, we've been traveling. I mean, we travel every year, right? And our players play other sports, and the other sports have been playing in the Metro. You know, like, yeah, we played Wayzata in basketball, but it's always been at Wayzata, right? And so, you know what?
And hockey, it's certainly been down there, too.
Exactly. And so we've got to make the advantage for us is they actually have to come out here and play. And so hopefully that 4-hour-plus bus ride will do a little something to their legs.
Maple Grove is the reigning champs. Just, I mean, that's a big, and they have, I think, 7 D1 guys on their roster. A bunch of them are coming either to NDSU or UND. That's a huge deal that they get them to come here.
Great program. Obviously, they've been super successful and for quite a while now. And so to have a team like them on our schedule, Division I quarterback.
Yes.
You know what, you get talk about that, and they have a Division I quarterback on their team, and that wasn't the first thing that was brought up.
Well, and we've talked about it from the past where you've gone down there and said, well, we're going to see this guy. And, well, I know he's going to, gosh, it was a kid from Oklahoma. Who's the kid that went to Oklahoma? He was a Rogers kid, right? Yeah.
Rogers. Gosh, name's getting away.
You've played this kind of talent before, just maybe not on a weekly basis. That's the biggest difference, in my opinion.
No doubt. You know what? I told people this. We're playing the SEC schedule of Minnesota. There's no doubt about it. And there's a difference when you sprinkle a game like that or 2 in, but when it's a majority of the whole season, there's going to be a lot of challenges that come with it, but a lot of great opportunities also.
Have you been back to Edina since the South game?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not.
Neither have I. I was there with you.
No. Yeah. And you know, when you're talking about that, Mason West, right?
Yeah.
First round draft choice.
Similar to Anders Lee.
Right, exactly. Right? I said somehow I end up playing Edina when they have the greatest quarterbacks that have ever come through their school.
That are hockey players.
Right? That are hockey players. When you got guys that are spending multiple a good chunk of time with John Gruden, right? I mean, I don't know if you saw the Mason West John Gruden, but you know what? It's going to be great. I know when we saw our schedule, I know that was a game that Jet was super excited about and had an opportunity to compete with Edina.
Is it something, and maybe you addressed this already or you do it on day one, not to be intimidated? Hey, we belong here. We deserve to be there. How do you address that with the guys?
Yeah, you know what? We actually spent a good chunk of time we just went up to down to Anoka for a scrimmage, and that was really kind of the end goal was to say, okay, this was a 6A football team. This was a team that was in the semifinals last year at US Bank Stadium. And get an opportunity to scrimmage them and say, you know what, the old adage that my dad said, they put their pants on the same way we do. And we talked about our standard has been our standard for a long time, and we believe in what we believe in and how we prepare. And you know what, that's going to win football games, and that doesn't change regardless of the opponent. And yeah, we got to do some things a little bit different than maybe we have in the past, but it comes down to blocking and tackling, and we've got to do a great job at both those.
The playoff format is different as well for people to get used to because it's 32 teams, but it's a 32-team bracket. It's not like what you did with a section tournament and then get to state. It's not like that in 6A football.
No, and you know what? So don't really know, once again, exactly how things all shake out, but you play your section.
Like a pod, right?
Yes. And so we're in the West, and then you don't play your section for a few rounds after that. And so, you know what? I would like to think that our strength of schedule is going to be about as high as anybody's in the state of Minnesota, so we should garner a little bit on the QRF side of things and get a little bit better favor once we get to the playoffs. But it comes down to we've got to figure out a way to develop some depth and stay healthy. There's no doubt about that with the gauntlet that we're going to go through.
Our crack research staff, it was Wyatt Gilmore. That's the kid's name from Rogers. They got it. There may be losses. I mean, how do you, for the team that's not, because, hey, you rolled last year and you only lost the one game, how do you handle that knowing we may be just as talented, but we might take a couple L's during the regular season?
You know what? We're never – you always focus on the process, right? And everybody kind of uses that jargon all the time. And we just more have said to our players, and we've talked with our players about we've got to, start fast. There's no doubt. We've got to come out and play good football right out of the gate. But on the same token, we got to play the long game. And the long game in Minnesota is that you're going to get an opportunity in the playoffs, right? And so we've got to figure out a way – to practice. I mean, because the brand of football is changing too, right? And I use this as I've talked with people. It's like playing North Dakota State and South Dakota State every week. It's 11, 12, 13 personnel, and it's, you know what? We've got to make teams throw the football. Well, that's a difference from what we were playing against Alexandria, right, in the past, where it was going to be a spread football game.
It's going to be 59 to 58 kind of game.
You know, and so we've got to find a way to practice physical but maintain our health and be able to play a physical brand of football come Fridays, but recover and do all that kind of stuff. So our training, there's no doubt about that. Our training and our preparation have got to be above average, let's just say.
One email here before we go. Can Coach Feeney give us an update on Alenius Davis at Washington?
Yeah. You know what? I had the opportunity to go out for lunch with him this summer, and things are looking great.
Yeah.
You know what? He's healthy. He looks phenomenal. You know, when you see him physically, he looks phenomenal. Had a great spring. You know what? At his spring meeting with hhis position coach he's got a great opportunity to start this next fall. And, looking at this schedule.
Yeah, they don't play the Gophs this year,
No, I know. And you know what?
Yeah.
When we were looking at recruiting and stuff like that with Jet, I'm like, okay, they come to Michigan, they come to Wisconsin.
Okay.
Maybe I'll end up at one of those two football games and get a chance
That guy
to see
looked
Alenius.
like a Division I player, I think, his sophomore year of high school, if I remember right.
Hey,
you telling me about him?
AJ Blazek this summer, I saw him at Wisconsin, right? And we were kind of hugged each other and we're talking a little bit. And I said, hey, because AJ had a son that's same age as Austin Schultz and Alenius Davis. And he saw him at a freshman basketball tournament. And he takes a picture and sends it to me. He goes, please tell me these are two tackles for you. And I'm like, hey, Coach Blazek, you had a good eye for talent. He goes, no, I have a really good eye for really large individuals that move really well. And those two are about dang near top of the list.
That's awesome. Washington opens with Colorado State. You mentioned, though, in the Big Ten, they come to Madison and they go to Michigan. So, gosh, Big Ten now. Still wrap my mind around that. Goes from coast to
like
coast,
us.
right? That is a good point. It's a good way to wrap it up. This was awesome. I know we've done this like every year forever, and I love doing it. And I can tell you, man, I'm not saying that because you're here. I live in Moorhead. There is real excitement about what's to come this year, and it's going to be really fun to watch the team play, and I'm looking forward to it.
Can't wait to lace it up.
Congrats, and thanks for coming by, bud. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Kevin Feeney joining us in studio as the Spuds get ready 3 weeks from today. Remind you, 3 weeks from today, they open with Rogers. You'll see that game on WDAY Extra. We'll break. We got to have Goetzinger on. I don't want to preempt you, but he's got to come on. We'll do that when hour 2 of Hot Mic begins after this.
This is Hot Mic. Hot Mic. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Let's take a moment and talk about bunions. The original line read as this: Bunions. You may have heard of them. That was my original line.
Hey, thank you, Dom. Johnny Cool Guys there with the sunglasses on.
That was off the dome.
To the west of
when
Illinois.
I'm looking on it, like west. I shouldn't say right and left. Is that Missouri?
That is Missouri.
Yes.
That is
it's underneath
Missouri.
Iowa.
Oh,
I'm getting good at this.
he's coming.
So we're going to like the bottom peninsula region.
Peninsula.
Okay, we're going to come back on the ETSU tailgate and then go to you. How am I going to go from a tailgate to bunions?
Okay, good deal.
Let's take a moment and talk about bunions.
Well, you got a lot to live up to there. It's a pretty electric segment we just had with Kevin Feeney here. Yeah, you know you got that, Rockin'.
I'm ready to go, but I don't know if I can follow that up.
So you called a handful of Spud games over the last couple of years. They've been building towards this, and now it's quote-unquote big boy football for them in 2025.
This is going to be a really fun season. Really fun. I think it's going to be a packed house every time they're at home this year, and if it's not, what do you do?
It normally is where Jim Goetzinger Stadium.
I think great. It's going to be even more busy than what it has been in the past. This is some really good football coming to this region, and I'm excited to watch it.
I mean, for these teams that are coming up here, for people that maybe aren't as familiar, there are Division I guys littering these rosters all the time.
This is
you know?
Even just talking to Kevin, I kind of forgot. It's been so long since I've been in the high school football mode, just how many they have.
Yes.
And some of the schools that are in the conversation. It's impressive. And then you get Edina, Wayzata, Maple Grove, and these are all Division I football teams.
Those are the who's who of Minnesota high school football.
These are all really, really fantastic programs, and the fact that Moorhead's right in the mix with them, and they can compete, which I would imagine they can. It's going to be an exciting year.
There are two teams. You know, we had Horace's coach. We had Harvey McMahon here yesterday, and I know you've seen them. And with both have a great experiment because they're both moving up.
Yeah.
Horace is going to the top class in North Dakota, and Moorhead's going to the top class in Minnesota. I'm with both these teams, and Horace obviously won it last year. The Spuds were unbeaten to the section championship. Both were loaded. Both have a lot of talent back. I'm infinitely curious on how these seasons go for each of these teams.
Moorhead is super young. Young. Talk about Jet. He's still, what is he?
He's junior.
Junior? Yeah.
Tay Rich is a junior. David Max is a junior.
Got a couple years left with them. And don't be shocked if there's some growing pains in this process. The record may not be the greatest in Spuds or Horace and the short history that they've had. It may not be the greatest record of all time, but we were talking about the postseason with at least Moorhead. Throw the records out the window once you get to that point. Anything can happen there, but there's going to be some growing pains. I'd be surprised if I think they'll compete against these bigger schools. I think they'll have a decent season, but it's going to be tough with that kind of competition.
There's another one I should mention that also won a state championship is Kindred. Kindred's moved up too, and how that's going to go in 2A.
They're going to be just fine.
Yeah. They have two guys who are Power 4 offers on their team.
They're going to two of arguably the best football players in the state of North Dakota.
Absolutely put that out there.
I would be shocked if they're not in Dakota Bowl contention in this bigger class in year one. I would be shocked. Now, there is questions on who's filling in because they lost a lot of really good talent from last season and the last couple of years when they've made the Dakota Bowl. I'd be curious to see who fills in that role, but I think they're going to be just fine.
Brooks Bacco has become now maybe, I think, the number one. If it was not Starcevic, his teammate, that Bacco might be the number one recruit for the class of 27. And, I mean, when Michigan is offering you to play football, that's a big deal.
I think from what I've seen is that Bacco's in that spot right now, and he's a talented kid. I always thought when I first got started here, he was kind of coming up the ranks as like an 8th grader. I thought he was going to be basketball full bore, and I kept hearing this.
And he's most known for basketball. He had the game-winning shot to win the state championship.
And now as he's gone on throughout his high school career, it seems like football has taken over the lead. And we've seen him. I've done a couple of regular season games. We've even seen him in the Dakota Bowl. And this kid is special. He's got really good hands. And then you go to Starcevic, his brother, now off of the college ranks, and this is a big kid too. He's massive, and you throw him on the line. He played some tight end over the last couple of years too. He's got some hands. They got a lot of talent over there, and the running backs are really good too, and they're back this season. Kindred's going to be really good.
You're getting jacked here. I can hear it in your voice.
I'm excited. I'm excited. What are we, a couple weeks away?
Well, it starts today for practice, and 2 weeks from tomorrow we have games are just 2 weeks from now, and then it's going. Those are some of the teams, and there's always somebody else. Like last year, Red River had a great run to make it all the way to the state championship game. That I don't know if anybody saw that. Cheyenne and Davies, I don't think, are off the beaten path because I think both we knew they were going to be pretty good, and I expect probably both are going to be really good again in 3A football.
Yeah, I would imagine there's no surprise there. I'm curious about Central Cass as well because they're also making the transition to moving up, but they had a young team last year that returns a lot of guys. I think they could be competitive in a bigger class in North Dakota. Red River's losing a lot of guys, but They had some talent coming up as
team,
well.
The team I'm looking at in that division is Minot North.
Yeah,
now with Horace gone now, and frankly, I think they should be moved up.
Yeah.
If you're in Minot, you need to be in the top division.
If you're in Minot.
But I think they're the team to beat.
Absolutely.
If you're telling me in November for the 2A championship, it's Minot North and Kindred, I'm not going to knock me over with a feather on that one.
That's kind of interesting. And I haven't seen Minot North play, but just kind of following from afar and seeing what they've done in the short time that they've been a program, pretty impressive. And I think they'll be moving up sooner than later, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dakota Bowl is in the contention for Minot North this year.
Just with the level of the amount of kids they have and the talent they have, I think they are what Horace was last year.
Absolutely.
Just bubbling up. I mean, they made the semis. Horace got them. That they're on the precipice of being really good.
That school as a whole in Minot North, their athletic programs are soaring, just like Horace did. They're getting college attention, coming up to Minot North, just like Horace is now, and it's only been a handful of years.
Yeah. So here we go. It's soccer practice is going, football. It's the best. To me, this is the best time. This is the ramp up, and now we go in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, this is an exciting time. We're getting back into the full swing. We're working.
All right. So you've been out at camp as much as I have at Bison Fall Camp. We played Tim Polisek's media veil that he did yesterday, which he put some, I think, positions on blast. What have you taken away from the first week of camp?
I take away from what he said, and you played at the beginning of your show. There's definitely message sent. To the older guys, more specifically on the offensive line. I just yesterday we were sitting there watching practice, and the defense looked phenomenal. And it's hard to judge. Okay, was the offense off, or was the defense just that great? And take that with however you want to. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that offensive line. And I think those first 3 non-conference games, you guys have said it, probably going to travel a decent amount of people and mix it up a little bit. See who's going to be in contention for some playing time. Granted, now there's some injuries in there as well that we noticed over the last week or so.
I'd say the last couple days, honestly. Since the pads have come on, that they've lost some depth guys, no starters yet, but definitely I think some guys that were going to play. Alex Elliott being one, transfer linebacker from Minnesota. Talon Edey, redshirt freshman at safety. Edey was getting reps with the ones.
Yeah,
he was out there with Darius Givens. That could be potentially a really big loss there.
And to go off of Alex Elliott there, we were watching him throughout the start of this fall camp. This guy's pretty good. This is a transfer that can get in and play right away, and from what Tim said, potentially it could be a longer
significant time.
Longer time out, which is not the best thing to hear in the world, and hopefully he can rehab that quickly, but don't want to rush that, especially we saw that at Staling last year with a shoulder deal, and then he was out for quite some time. But he was a guy that could definitely step in and make an impact at the linebacker spot. Now, who's going to fill in that role? Oliver Lucht, Ray James, Austin Altapeter, they're kind of in the mix in that next man up, because Elliott was right up there with Peter Haugo with the twos in the linebacker spot throughout fall camp.
There's another guy.
Yeah.
I think Haugo's going to play quite a bit, too.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of run.
So for fans out there that are going to see the headline part of a true freshman on the offensive line, how much do you take of that? Is this more he's sending a message, or he really believes that Babbitts can start and play right away?
I think both. And I also think in the era of college football where we're at, if you're young and you're good enough, and you've mentioned it as well, if you're young and you're good enough and you can play, you're going to get out there and play. That's just the nature of what it is. But I think it is a little bit of both. Like, hey, if you're not going to step up and take it by the keister, he
held it.
He paused really well.
Pause.
I was wondering where he was getting at, and then he said keisters. Oh, okay.
He had a little smirk too when he said it.
It made sense. I think that's the message there. If these older guys aren't going to step up and take that, then we're going to throw this kid in there who's hungry for it, and he's definitely big enough.
He looks the part.
He's massive.
Absolutely looks the part.
All the offensive line recruits that they brought in this season are. I think this is one of the most physically mature freshman groups I've seen.
Yeah, I mean,
ever.
James Nellis isn't practicing yet because he's being held out with an injury. Looks it though. Gavin Wang from Annandale is a monster, and Babbitts is the other one. Actually, I haven't even seen Alex Warden yet, but there's another one that's a monster there.
I would even go away from the offensive line. Gabe Cunningham is big.
Tight end freshman. Yes,
I think Miles Mitchell is physically. He may be a shorter guy.
There's another
but
guy.
He's a massive.
So you had to remind Polisak of that, and he kind of rolled his eyes because Miles has been here since January, but he said right now it's a dogfight for the number 2. So that alone should tell you for some of these freshmen that got here that they have the physical ability. Whether they can pick up the offense or defense is the other question mark. But physically, they look like they can come in and play right away.
Miles Mitchell has a slightly smaller build than Marty Brown, but they look similar.
I think he's quicker. He might be quicker than Marty.
Definitely is. And he mentioned it too. There is a definitive battle for the number 2 spot in the running back room. And between him, DJ Scott, throw Owen Johnson in there as well. I haven't seen a ton of Cortez LeGrant in there, but between those three, there's definitely a battle in there, and they're good. They're all good, and they're speedy. I think they're all very similar in their running back style. Quick, can find a hole and just jet. The breakaway speed this year is definitely there. With up and down the list, there's definitely there.
Normally, I set the under-over at about 4 for true freshmen. I might go over.
Yeah.
I might. And I'm not just talking the 4 games.
Teams play in that
no,
too?
I'm talking on offense or defense. I might go over on that this year.
Yeah, I mean.
Which I don't know if that's a reflection of the last 2 recruiting cycles that have come in that are not because they're getting passed by guys that are true freshmen. You can go down that road too. The guys that are redshirt freshmen and sophomores are getting passed by true freshmen. That maybe the level of talent is better there, and that's something you can definitely point to as well.
I like what Tim said too.
We haven't even talked about Elijah Wayne yet. And Elijah Wayne's another guy who defensive tackle is not a spot where true freshmen play.
I was watching his video that you cut from when he was in high school. His body has absolutely transformed. He is as big, if not bigger, than Keenan Wilson. Jackson Dutenheffer. He definitely looks the part. I'll be really curious to see how much that he's going to hop in there. And I like what Tim said yesterday when we had the chance to talk to him. These guys are on the come up, but sick of talking about them being on the come up. They got to be at a point where they can step up and take one of those starting roles. And if they're not going to do it, then we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. But these young kids are impressive.
Elijah Wayne is 6'4", 273.
Yeah.
6'4", 273 as a true freshman.
Yeah, and he didn't look that way coming out of high school, right?
No, I would say he was definitely long enough.
Tall,
I don't know if this way he had gone.
Yes,
no.
and he's strong. He fits in there. And I got to say, after what we were watching yesterday at fall camp, the defensive tackles, we've talked about them a lot because they may be thin depth-wise. I think if these kids can come along pretty quickly, these newer guys, I mean, they're going to be just fine there because the top 3 they have there, Keenan, Dutenheffer, and then Logan Larson, who looked great yesterday. Yeah. Those 3 are 3-man wrecking crew at that position, at least yesterday at camp.
I think and then we'll wrap on this and we'll go to break, but you make a good point that the first 3 non-conference games, if they go the way that they should, you're going to see plenty of guys playing.
Yeah.
That they have to.
Why not?
Because after that bye week, when South Dakota's here, then you got to know who's the 63 guys we're going to go with each and every Saturday from here on out. I think that's why the first 3 that for Kyle, myself, and you, we got to make sure we know the whole
roster on hand.
100 guys. We're going to need to know them because I really believe that's going to be the case.
And that's exciting.
Yes.
It's exciting to see what they can do against college competition. We see what they can do against fall camp, against their one of the best offenses in the country, one of the best defenses in the country, but what can they do against other people? I'll be curious about. But it does seem like messages have been sent,
and that might just be it too. And who knows? It's August 7th. By the time we get to August 27th, the week of the Citadel game, maybe this has changed.
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
These guys are maybe still play, maybe only play the 4. I think Donovan Woolen was a guy that we, much like Money Mitchell, we looked at like, I think he's not going to play 4. I think he's going to play the whole season. And Donovan ended up playing the whole season. Jackson Williams, how early in camp last year?
It was quick.
Right, it was day 4,
quick.
right?
Yeah,
we were looking at Jackson Williams.
This guy's fast.
This guy's going to play.
I think that was the first thing.
Right?
This guy's quick.
Right.
And then he goes on to do what he did on the special teams unit.
Right,
yeah.
there are clues given. And if we're getting dropped those guys by day 5, 6, they're going to play.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't reverse course. They're going to play.
Don't be shocked when you see those guys that were listed.
When you see the first 2 deep And it's on. Those are on there. Don't be knocked out with
and
that.
now the key is retaining them in the future. That's just how
Unfortunately,
it
is the case.
That's how it is.
All right, let's break. A few more minutes there with Sam. And don't forget Marlee Falcon from Bismarck Legacy. You saw Marlee play.
Yeah.
So we'll get your thoughts on that. Because she's been burning up on the recruiting circuit. Back on Hot Mic right after this. Welcome back, everybody. A couple more minutes here with Sammy G. We'll be out at Bison Media Day tomorrow.
Yeah,
look forward to that. Show will be live at 9. We'll be actually going 9 to noon, 9 to 11 normal, and then 11 to noon streaming. Offense goes first, which is different. Normally, it's just been a free-for-all. And it's been ungodly hot.
Oh, man.
We were in there yesterday, and it doesn't look like it's going to be any better tomorrow.
There's just one corner, a beautiful indoor facility. There's just one corner that the air doesn't touch. That's the one we always seem to be in that one, and it's a sweat fest over there.
A couple things before we go, not football related, because I got a couple emails on this. Say, hey, thanks for all the attention on the Little Leaguers, but what about the Legion guys and all that? And I go back again. I don't know. I'll ask your 2 cents on this. First, is it too much attention on kids that are 11 and 12 years old that are on national television?
No, I think it's built up such a national brand, and it's exciting. The trip to Williamsport on the line. I grew up in love with Little League. We didn't have Little League where I was from.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
That was more in the cities.
Okay.
And I always wanted to play in that. I just loved watching the Little League World Series. I would catch it every single year. It's special. It's unique. I don't think it's too much attention for these kids. They've earned it. Every level. They've definitely earned it. They should get attention. There's no doubt about that. But I think this is such a national brand when it comes to and international competition as well. And there's a centralized location that's built a tradition and history. I think it's a pretty big deal.
I'm really interested if they end up winning tomorrow. Now it's the second time.
Yeah.
If it's as big a deal as it was 2 years ago. You were here. I mean, there were watch parties going on around when they made it to Williamsport. There's going to be some tomorrow just for the regional final game.
I think it should be.
I think
some pride
so too.
in the kids, It's pretty impressive.
To do it right. There are teams that have never gone, that have never made it out of larger population areas than ours. And you can say, okay, well, they don't have to go through the gauntlet of playing the Texas schools or whatever. Now, visiting with the guys. Now the goal is to go back, but this time win a game there.
Yes.
I mean, they went there and they lost the 3 that they played. Now it's the chance. All right, how do we elevate it this time around?
It's a different cycle of kids in there too.
Yes.
Why not? Why not be excited about this and go full bore? They deserved it. This is it's a grind to get to this point. It's not like you win a couple of games and you're there.
It's a grind. I'd say it's a grind for the parents.
Yeah,
I mean,
it definitely is. Definitely is.
They left last Wednesday for Indianapolis, so they've been there now 8 days. It's going to be 9, at least maybe 10. And if they win, what we found out, they don't come back. They go from Williamsport they go from Indianapolis right to Williamsport.
Straight there,
from there. Yeah. Which then for the parents, now we're talking another 2 weeks because that tournament is a at least 10-day endeavor.
It's long. It's definitely long. They sacrifice a lot.
That is not an inexpensive trip to do that.
It is unlike anything else. And you think if you're gonna go and ride it out, might as well ride it out to the end.
All right. Last thing before we go, we've got preseason football tonight.
Colts
the Indianapolis Colts are playing tonight.
Colts play tonight. AR is getting the start. Did you know?
I didn't know that.
I looked it up this morning. Anthony Richards starting tonight. Okay. Daniel Jones is starting the second preseason game.
Are we going to see Jones play tonight? Or
I don't think tonight. No. Anthony Richardson's going to play a quarter and a half. This is from what I've read.
What do you make of that the number 3 overall pick a couple years ago is going to have to play a quarter and a half of preseason game number 1?
I'm okay with it because he hasn't played a ton of football in his life.
Correct.
Just
same with the Trey Lance deal we were talking about last week.
Yeah, he played a handful of games in college. He's played a handful of games in his NFL career. And now if you're in a quarterback battle, I guess try to win it out in a preseason game. At least it gets me a little jazzed up to watch it.
NFL Network tonight, baby.
Yeah.
Who's else playing?
I'm
Who's your quarterback?
Riley Leonard, I would imagine. Notre Dame
Riley
quarterback.
Leonard is on the Colts.
They drafted him.
I don't think I knew that.
I don't know if Tyler Warren's going to play or not. Well, if they're going to play Anthony Richardson,
you got to play your number one guy,
exactly.
don't you?
They might play Tyler Warren.
Who the heck is Jason Bean, the fourth-string quarterback? Who's that?
I think he's
never heard of the name. I have no idea who that guy is.
Kansas or Washington? I can't remember. Eric says Kansas
because he's a Jayhawk fan. I have no idea.
He's been away from Kansas for a while, and I don't think he'll ever play.
Your wide receiver group is questionable. Josh Downs, Alec
Pierce, he's on the come up.
Okay,
Pittman, he's still around. A.D. Mitchell, I'm curious to see what he does. Speedster from Texas, I'll be interested about that. I think we're going to rely more on Tyler Warren than I may think.
That was a good pick. The fact that he landed with you guys
was one of the better picks.
I wanted the Jets to get him.
I thought the Bears were going to get him, and then they went with Colston Loveland.
Yeah,
we were at Zabel's draft.
That's
party.
right.
I was jumping up and down in the corner. Everybody's looking. What's going on? We just got Tyler Warren. That's okay.
But you know what? It's preseason, but it's just. You're right. You're excited to watch him play. It's just the fandom of it. I want the Jets play their first one.
Crap suit of the Canton, Ohio game. I'll watch the entire thing.
Did you really?
I'll watch the entire one of this one, and then I'll watch Cam
after
that. Yeah,
I'm really interested in that. And Gray's going to play because he's playing the Seahawks. So Zabel's going to be going for that tonight. So that will be really, really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact Brady has been as what's the right word? Active or involved with Cam at camp has been really, really interesting. Yeah, Brady has been right there working with him.
That he was right behind him looking, so he's learning from the best. And I'm curious because I don't know if they've had that full one-on-one, break it down a little bit between each other or not.
I think they have. Cam hasn't spilled the beans on what's gone on it, which is fine. He said that conversation is going to stay between me and Tom, but that's pretty cool.
I'm excited. I don't know which game I'm more excited for, that game or the Colts game.
I think he's got a heck of a chance to be the backup. I really believe that.
Because who's in that? Is it McDonald?
It's Geno Smith, Aiden O'Connell, and Cam, because they released Archie Bradley, Gus's son, a couple weeks ago. So those are the three guys that are battling out.
I wouldn't be
Cam
surprised.
Miller is the backup quarterback.
I would not be surprised. And then it takes
starts
just
tonight.
One instance where he's into a role of playing time.
We got a roll, but for our viewers that are going to meet Marlee, you saw her play on that Stack Legacy team.
Yes.
Give us the lowdown on what Marlee Falcon is as a player.
6'2", shoots north of 50% from three, which was unreal.
Okay, that's all right.
That's pretty solid. Was part of the Twin Towers over at Legacy with Brooklyn Felkley, and now Felkley's gone. I'll be curious to see what Falcon could do moving forward. Her brother's a fantastic
really good player.
Yep. I believe he's up at Minot State.
Yep.
Is she from the first year I saw Marlee to last year, tons of improvement.
Okay.
Tons of improvement. Really good ball player.
Another one of the standout class of 2027. Great stuff as always, bud.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you at Media Day tomorrow.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
Sam Goetzinger joins us each and every Thursday at 10. We'll break. We come back. Bismarck Legacy's Marlee Falcon will join us on the recruiting cycle heating up for her. That's coming up. We come back. Welcome back, everybody. Thursday morning show rolls on. Again, reminder, tomorrow we'll be up at NDSU for Bison Football Media Day. We've got a cavalcade of people joining us, so make sure you tune in tomorrow from 9 to 11 on TV, and then 11 to 12 we'll be streaming on WDAY+. Before we went to break, we were chatting about our next guest who, if you follow the girls basketball circuit in North Dakota, she has blown up over the last couple of years and is part of just a stacked class of 2027 in the state of North Dakota. Her team, of course, made the state tournament last year out of Bismarck Legacy and figures to be in the mix again this upcoming winter. Marlee Falcon joins us here from out in Bismarck to chat about what this summer has been like. First, thanks for doing this. We were just visiting off air about how active your phone has been, how busy you've been. Just now, you're getting ready for school to start. Have you taken a breath to say, boy, this was a lot that happened over the last couple months?
Well, yeah, it's been crazy over the past 2 months after our first tournament in Ohio. And school's starting and I just need to like think like, okay, where am I going to fit these phone calls? Because now school's starting later and then practice will start or end later. So yeah, it's just been crazy and I would need to think about that more.
So give us, at least in your mind, when was college basketball always a goal, or when did it become reality? Like, okay, I think I can do this, or somebody thinks I can play at the next level.
Yeah, Division I has always been my goal. I've been watching, obviously, Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark are my two favorite basketball players. So watching them grow up has just been so amazing. And it really set into me when my brother was talking about all the coaches that are like reaching out to him. And I was just like, I would really want to do that. So yeah, it's just always been a goal for me.
Basketball always been the sport, or was there another one when you were growing up?
Well, I did play volleyball on the side, but basketball has always been my sport.
What about it to you appeals? Like, what is your favorite part about it? Competition? What is it like? I can't get enough of it.
I would definitely say competing with other girls because there's so much good girls in this town and everywhere. And I don't know, and making new best friends because I love my team so much, my AU team. So they've just been awesome.
So for those that haven't been following here, I want to say last summer I started hearing your name, and then I know NDSU offered, and then you got now we're up to 10. So take me back when Jory offered, and then your name got out there. Did things just explode after that?
Yeah, kind of. When Jory offered, I was actually with my sister. She was babysitting this little girl, so I just went over there to say hi. And Jory wanted to call me, so I went on the phone and I went on speaker. So it was me and my sister. And then he offered, and then we were both so excited. I had to get Twitter. I'm like, Berkeley, like, how do I post? So she helped me post my first offer. So I speeded home and talked to my dad, and he was super happy. And I also told my mom, and they were all just so proud of me. It was really exciting.
Was that out of the blue, Marlee, when Jory called?
Not really, because I think we set up that phone call, and I think we've had many conversations before.
But still, to get it, I mean, you were just mentioning that. Describe your after that, and then they started coming. So what was the following weeks and months after that like?
Well, then it was USD. I don't know. After my first offer from Jory, I was beyond excited. Me and my sister were like screaming. It was so exciting.
So now, I don't know if it's old hat, but I know you posted a couple weeks ago that Utah offered, and I saw that one. I'm like, okay. So can you give us the lowdown on that, and what was the reaction when they called?
Well, I think it was the first week after Ohio, and the head coach called me, and he said he would like to offer me, and that was really exciting. So they want me down for a visit, and I think me and my dad are going to go down there somewhere in October to visit down there. So
have you, I mean, I know it's all happening. Have you had a chance just to sit and like, okay, this is real. Like there are places that want me badly. Have you thought about that?
I mean, sometimes, but not really, because it's all so fast and I have to like stay on it, talk to all these coaches. But yeah, it's crazy that all of these colleges want me to play. So
okay, so we're just watching some highlights of you. You are really proficient at shooting the three. Tell me about that, working at that, and why is that such a big part of your game?
I mean, again, I got it from my brother. He is such a good shooter, and last year I had a really slow shot, and everybody was coming up to me and saying, hey, we need to work on that. We need to work on that. So I got in the gym and worked on my fast shot, and I think that just really helped me to become a better shooter.
How do you do that? How do you work on getting it off quicker?
I think my coaches would like come up to me, like close out hard. So I would have to get it off fast or else they would block me.
To have a player like Brooklyn to look up to the last couple of years, what does she mean to you and to your team?
She was amazing. She was like our main voice on the court. Not only that, but she is such a good friend. Like I could go to her to anything, talk about anything. So I don't know. She meant a lot to our team, and our whole team knows that. Describe
now, knowing not necessarily you snuck up on anybody, but that's not going to be the case this upcoming year. Knowing there are going to be defenses want to know exactly where you are. How do you mentally prepare that for the season upcoming?
I would definitely just say working on it in practice and practicing with my teammates, because I'm not going to be the only one that has to shoot. All of my teammates are good shooters, so I would have to depend on them sometimes.
So we were visiting off air. People who watch this show certainly know how good the WDAY is. You're in it every night. You describe the level of girls basketball and what it's like just on maybe a random January, and you guys are playing Mandan or you're playing Minot. What the competition level is like.
I mean, like, every game that I walk into, I know that, like, these girls are all going to be good and it's going to be hard to win. But, I mean, I love to see girls that are getting offers from this town, and I love to see that everyone's getting noticed by college basketball coaches. So, I don't know. It's just really fun.
Well, I did the story, Marlee, in March at state that I think I counted 10 girls at the state tournament had Division I offers. That's never happened before. You're part of that. What's that mean to you?
I mean, it means a lot. Like Lily Bell, I really look up to Lily Bell. She is awesome. Not that she's a really great person too. She's really funny to talk to, and she's just a really nice person.
And she was getting, Division I attention like in 8th grade. I mean, so she's been living it for 4 or 5 years. I'll relate that to you. You've been dealing this for a year. I don't know when, and I'll ask you maybe in a minute when you want to commit, but is it a lot? Is it every day? Do you get a chance to get away from it at all?
I mean, I definitely do get questioned that by college coaches, and I just say, I don't know, I need to sit down with my family and just really talk about when I want to make my decision. Is
it overwhelming? You say, hey, I'm going to be a junior. I still want to enjoy high school, do all that. Can you do that?
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming because obviously they want me to commit early to their college, but yeah, it's overwhelming, but I would just have to sit down and talk with my family about that.
I guess it's a good problem to have, but it's still a lot, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Describe for you this upcoming year, knowing what you have back, knowing certainly what the other teams in the WDA are going to bring to the table. What are your own expectations for this upcoming year?
I would definitely say, I feel like obviously our goal is to make it to state, but I think it'll be harder this year just because everyone is just super talented, and like Century's gaining the 2 freshmen. Yeah, everyone is just going to be so talented. It's just going to be really fun competing with all the teams.
When's the last time you and your bro played one-on-one?
Not for a while. He moved up to Minot last week, and he's been doing workouts with them. So.
Okay, so who won the last time you actually did it? That's what we need to know.
Oh, it'd definitely be him. But I definitely won the last game of Pig. But
so there we go. We got bragging rights there. Who's the better shooter? Can we say that?
I mean, I would say me, but he would say him.
I really appreciate you doing this. Congratulations on what's been a crazy summer, and stay healthy. We'll look forward to talking with you soon, okay?
Thank you.
Marlee Falcon joining us from Bismarck Legacy, class of 2027. Again, one of the many that are just popping right now. And I'll just read through her offers, which are all, as we mentioned, all the Dakotas, NDSU, USD, South Dakota State, UND, Drake, Montana, Utah, that one just happened a couple weeks ago, Omaha, Harvard, and Northern Illinois. That's Northern Illinois, the most recent one that came in last week. So that, I'm not a great math mind, but that's 3, 6, 8, that's 10. So she's part of that 27 class. Jordan Christofferson from Horace, another one, the 27. It's just popping. Riley Rutledge, who's already committed as a 27 out of South Prairie. That's a lot going on there. And it's going to be fun to see where she ends up. I'll just tell you right now, when we get on the AA, I believe, is back in Bismarck this year, sign us up for that. It's going to be elite talent going to be playing there in the middle of March. We'll take our final break. We come back. We got a loaded Sports Thursday. Our guy Tom Hoagie is playing in the first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs. We'll update you on that. And say goodbye. Hot Mike wraps right after this. All right, getting out of here on this Thursday. We're back with you tomorrow at Bison Media Day. On Monday, ESPN will be in town at Bison football practice. I just got an email, actually, saying if we wanted to, please let me know if you're interested in chatting with ESPN talent or producers involved in this project, or if you'd like to receive assets and updates specific to the North Dakota stop. This is part of the SportsCenter 50 States in 50 Days tour that they're going to be here on Monday. I believe Matt Berry is going to be here, SportsCenter anchor, who also does college football play-by-play. So our hope is that we can get Matt on the show and have that for next week. So that's coming up on Monday that they'll be here. Eric, I was reading this. I don't know if you saw this. We were talking on the new ESPN deal with the WWE. Apparently, since I'm already an ESPN subscriber, like I get it through my pay TV, you do through YouTube, that we get the like WrestleMania I'll get now. I don't have to pay for it. Did you see that? It's part of the deal.
I did not see that. So.
Yep. So if you are a paid TV subscriber to ESPN already, then you get all the premium events. I don't care about WrestleMania, but I can watch it now apparently.
I mean, is that going to be access? Like we have access to the archives too?
That I don't know.
The old stuff?
That I'm not sure of, but that.
And what about the stuff that's strictly like ESPN Plus? Are we gonna have to pay extra to get that?
I don't believe so. I think if you're already under the umbrella, then you're in. These are the people that have completely cut the cord and have no access to it. So that's how I read it.
So how much money is it going to be to stream the NFL next year?
More, probably.
What was it, like $500 last year?
I'm getting renewed on Saturday for Red Zone and Sunday Ticket, and it's $500 if I remember correctly.
If you have YouTube TV, it's $400.
Yeah.
Then Peacock for the one game, which is dumb.
That's the way it works. But for those that are wrestling fans out there, I know there's plenty that watch our program, that if you're already a ESPN subscriber, then you will be able to watch SummerSlam or again WrestleMania. I forget all the cool names of them. I used to know this like 30 years ago when I paid attention to wrestling. But
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. What's another one? There's another one they do. I know those three.
I like
Royal
watch
Rumble,
wrestling,
SummerSlam, and WrestleMania. Those are the three. There's probably another one I'm missing, but you'll be able to pick them up. Yeah.
They added a whole bunch.
Yeah, there's a bunch out there, but that's for those that are interested. You're going to be able to do that. FedEx Cup playoffs are underway. This is the wrap-up of the golf season. The top 75 make it into the first tournament, which is the FedEx St. Jude Championship, played down in Memphis. Our guy Tom Hoagie is in this event. Tom has really struggled the last, I'd say, month and a half. Now off to a great start today. He's 2 over par through 13 holes. You've got to be in the top 50 to make it to next week, and then you got to be in the top 30 to make the Tour Championship. Currently, he's in 40th place in the FedEx Cup ranking, so he's good for next week. It's a matter he's got to have 2 really good weeks to make it into the Tour Championship, which he played last year. Just his game is not in a good spot right now, so we'll see. But currently 2 over, he's made 3 bogeys and a birdie. At a course where he's played well at. TPC Southwind is not necessarily one that doesn't fit his game, but his game is not in a good spot right now. Harry Hall, Ashley Batia, and Matt Fitzpatrick are all at 4 under par early on in the round.
I have an issue with this format that maybe we can get into at some point when we have time, but Rory's sitting out.
He's not playing. Yeah,
he's not playing today. Kind of
not great.
No, like reset the points or something to where you have to actually be competitive to go.
Like you got to. What do you mean competitive? Like you got to be playing good to get into this now?
Yeah, like you have to be like your top 75 qualify, and then you have to play all 3 to get in.
Oh, I see.
So like the 1, 2, whatever probably have earned enough points to be into the next one, but you have to be playing good enough to stay. Where if you miss a week, you sit out. Then you're done.
Yeah, that's interesting. They've tried to spice this up. They've moved it ahead in the calendar so they stay away from football, which is smart. But I still think people still don't understand how the format works. I only finally figured out a couple of years ago when Hoagie got good that how it works. So we'll see. That is going on as we speak. Let's do some what to watch before we get out of here. All right, we mentioned it earlier. We got preseason football tonight. Cam Miller will make his debut. Raiders and Seahawks, 9 o'clock. On the NFL Network tonight. The FedEx St. Jude Championship coverage begins at 1 o'clock on the Golf Channel. We'll see who is leading that first event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. And we got CFL tonight as well. It's regular season games there. British Columbia and Hamilton will face each other. That's at 6:30 on CBS Sports Network for that one if you're looking for some CFL tonight. We got to roll. Thanks to our guests today, to Kevin Feeney, to Sam Goetzinger, and to Marlee Falcon. If you missed any of the show, you can podcast it later today at Inforum.com. You can watch a full replay on WDAY+. Good luck to all the North Dakota teams starting practice today. Stay cool out there, guys. And we will see you tomorrow at Bison Media Day. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow.